Poducer.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Poducer, the podcast for producers. Today we are joined by Ghost Lotus.
Howdy, y'all. How we doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. Yeah, man. Welcome to the pod. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. How was the show the other night? I just talked to Ashton. This should come out after Ashton. And you guys played the other night, Friday night, at the Temple Sound, right?
The Point.
The Point, but the event was called Temple Sound or something? Or
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. How did that
sick.
go?
So, Ronin, the sound that was there is like, that's my favorite sound system in like ever. I played on like the Hennies. I played on, other Hennies. I played on Functions, like top industry systems, and they're just nothing that sounds like the Ronin Hennessy system. First time hearing it was at Wakan. They brought the full deployment on the Halo stage, and it was just rocking my world. Like during Distinct Motive, I would like go in the crowd a little bit to kind of feel it, and I would literally feel like my bones were about to shatter. Like that's how like aggressive the bass is, but it's like so amazing. But yeah, the show is awesome. Ashton killed it, Swampz killed it, Severe killed it. It was just like an overall great time.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, I mean, the speaker system is nice. It's
it purrs.
Yeah, dude. And it's not like too loud, but it gives you that low end that you want.
Mm-hmm, that like feeling in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the butterflies.
Yep.
The butterfly effect.
The rumble in your tummy.
Yeah. Word, man. Well, so I always start out with just like a fun question,
Sure.
which is, what was your first concert that you went to? Yo, what's up, guys? Before we get into today's show, I want to take a quick moment to talk about our sponsor, Quake. As music producers and concert enthusiasts, we know how important it is to protect our ears. That's where Quake's Dub Muffs V2 come in. They aren't just any earplugs, they're a game changer. What sets Dub Muffs V2 apart, first off, their quality. They're better than any plugs I've ever used. I use them all the time. I have custom in-ear plugs. These are my main ones that I bring to shows. You get premium sound clarity, preserving those crisp highs and deep lows, all while safeguarding your ears from damaging volumes. And the best part, they don't break the bank. Quality and affordability, son. Let's talk customization. Quake knows one size doesn't fit all. That's why they offer two sizes. Whether you're at an intimate gig or a massive festival, Dub Muffs V2 fit comfortably in your ears, making sure you're protected no matter how long the show lasts. Let's face it, we've all left concerts with ringing in our ears. It's not good, but it ends up happening. But it doesn't have to be that way. Protect your ears while enjoying the pure sound of music with Quake's Dub Muffs V2. As a special thank you to our listeners, Quake is offering an exclusive discount. Just use the code POD15 at checkout to save on your first purchase. As a motto of our show, make sure you protect yo ears. Now let's get back to the show.
So my 8th birthday, my first ever concert, my aunt took me to Papa Roach.
Papa Roach. Hell yeah. Where was that?
This was in New York City. I think it was at Madison Square Garden. This was in 2000... I want to say 2002? 2002. Yeah, because I turned 8 in 2002, so yeah.
How was that? So you were 8 years old?
I was 8. I was with my aunt and my cousin. And I kind of have flashbacks, like memories of it, but I just like, I was so little. And like, we were kind of like, they didn't want to bring me like in the pit because like I was... Yeah,
you were in the mosh.
Yeah, I was throwing elbows, but no, so we were like in the stands, little like on the like back looking at the stage this way. And I just remember like they were my favorite band at the time. It was my first ever CD. At Christmas one time I got like a boom box with a CD player, and like that was my first ever CD was Papa Roach. My dad was like big into heavy metal. His favorite band's Motley Crue, so like that was like his type of stuff, and then like put me onto that, and now I don't really listen to that kind of stuff, but I do sometimes. I like Motley Crue.
Yeah, sometimes you go back and check it out again. Yeah. Sometimes you're just feeling like listening to rock, you know? That's how I get
something sometimes. Crazy too, when I was living in Arizona in 5th grade, I was on the playground and I found a random CD on the floor, and it was a Papa Roach CD. And I was like,
that's like a sign.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like, and then I took it home and it worked, and it was the same one that was my first ever CD, and I was like, this is neat.
Yeah.
So I got to run it back.
did you I mean, like 8 years old at a concert, that's like at a pretty hard show. Are your parents pretty like musical people, or
so my dad used to be in a band.
Okay.
So he used to do heavy metal like screaming and all that stuff, but then when I was in second grade, he got into a car accident, got kind of like crippled kind of, and so he had to stop doing that. He had to stop like doing all that stuff. So it's funny because whenever I talk to him about like whatever I'm doing, he's like you're kind of living the dream that I had, but in your own little different way. And I'm like, kind of like, I guess, but he'll always try to give me like feedback or like or try to like tell me things to kind of do for my brand, and it'll be the most like things that's like I'm not gonna do because it's something that he would have done back in the 80s, and like he'll
like, dude, you got to make CDs and like push them on the street.
No, he literally like what about those little tapes that you press the button, it pops out, and you slide it in. I'm like, they don't make.
You're like,
those
Dad,
anymore.
I don't make lo-fi, because that's the thing with lo-fi guys. They'll sell the tapes.
Oh yeah, I mean, not gonna lie, but the ones I see now recently are these tapes that have a USB that are connected to it, and I'm like, that's so 2024. It's like, really? So I'm gonna sell you a cassette tape, but it doesn't work as a cassette tape. You have to pull out this little USB thing in it. I'm like, what's the point in that? I'll just sell USBs. But I guess it's the aesthetic.
That's wild. Selling USBs actually sounds kind of cool, like a little pimped out like USB.
You know Smith?
The band?
No, the producer. He does like dubstep. He does like hip hop dubstep. It's sick. It's like SMITH with a dot.
I'm thinking of Killsmith.
Nah. So he back about 3 years, 2.5, 3 years ago when I first started producing during COVID, it was like right after COVID, he released these USBs and they were clear. And they had like a little metal tip, and they had like samples, unreleased music.
Nice. See, that's cool.
And it was sick. And like you plug it into like your computer, and it would light up and glow. I was like, this is really neat. I actually ended up like turning it into like my USB to play, but then I stopped doing it because it would say Smith on it in like pictures, and I was like, can't do that.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea because it's cool to have something to give to people that is, you know, like a physical object.
Yeah.
But that's pretty low cost. I'm sure a USB is cheap, and then you can customize them.
Yeah, you can. I saw them. Like, I think you can get like, if you, depending on the bulk, like 50 or 100. I think it was like, if I get 100 of them, I could pay $5 for each of them to be made with my logo on them, and then you sell them for like $25-$30. So it's like there's a really big margin on them.
Yeah, I mean, you could just be like, oh, I'm gonna go to Bandcamp and there's no physical thing, but it's cool to take something home, and especially because you can retrofit that and be like, okay, I'm gonna, or not retrofit, but just like reuse it
exactly
for whatever.
Plus though, there's like an incentive to it. It's like, okay, you buy this USB, you get all my samples, my sample packs, and then unreleased music that I'm never gonna release, or like stems to songs that like you can only get if you have the USB. Like you can't get them on Bandcamp, you can't get them on SoundCloud. It's like you have to buy the USB in order to have this stuff. So it makes people like have to buy, like want to buy it, you know?
Yeah, no, it makes me want to do that.
Yes,
for some kind of physical release.
Yeah, that sounds neat.
That's cool, man. Yeah,
like Tape B actually made cassette tapes, and he hides them around
like venues and stuff.
Yeah, so he hides them around before he plays shows. And if you find the cassette tapes, so he has like 5 or 10 before every show.
Oh, like meet and greet or something?
No. So it's like it's a free ticket to the show, but on the cassette tape, and it's an actual cassette tape, the one that you put in like a thing and play it. On the cassette tape is all of his like unreleased music, or like his drip tapes, but it's before it comes out, so it'll be like unreleased. So
nice.
And like people, like I remember when I think it was in Denver when he played at the Ogden, he was running around hiding them, but the show was sold out both nights, and people were running around and like following his car on scooters, trying to find out, and like everyone was running around chasing him to try to find where he was hiding the cassette tapes. And I'm like, that's how you know,
dude. I love a good Easter egg hunt.
Oh, right?
Like, especially now I have like a redemption because I did Easter. Did your parents ever do that where they like laid those eggs, plastic eggs with like treats inside?
Oh, yeah.
Such a weird, like, how did we come to that? There's definitely like history that we could look up, but I love a good Easter egg hunt. And I feel like when I was young, my siblings were older, so they would like get all the stuff, and I'd be like, guys, what the heck? Like, I want some some Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
And I'm not gonna lie, those Easter, you know, like when you would paint the Easter eggs, like as a kid, they don't do that crap anymore. But it's like those, for some reason, those hard-boiled eggs tasted just differently. They tasted they were great. I don't know why. Like
they had the dye.
the dye, yeah.
Yeah, the dye was the good juices. Or something.
Yeah, you just cracked it open after like Easter, and you just like you're like, this looks green, purple. Looks like I'm gonna die if I eat this, but screw it.
I feel like as a kid, it was maybe like, because you know how there was like colored ketchup and stuff like that.
Oh my god, the green, the purple. Oh.
Like it's nasty, but somehow with kids, they're like, okay, cool. Like I don't think I ever had the colored ketchup.
I think I did. It was called like Squeeze It, right?
Yeah, and I think Heinz might have done it too.
Oh my god.
Anyway, kind of gross.
I did it. I had the green one, and it was interesting. I would like put it on my eggs as a kid, and like it would just like make your like yellow and the green would just make it turn like a weird color.
Green eggs and ham.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So actually, like, because you live in Denver.
Yeah.
So obviously when you think of like Colorado and bass music, you think of Red Rocks, you think of, I mean, people that are in the scene, they think of the Black Box, or is it the Black Box, or just
the Black Box?
Black Box, yeah.
It's OP.
yeah. But then also the Ogden comes up a lot.
Yes.
And I'm just curious, like, what size is the venue?
So Black Box is about 350. Ogden is about 1800.
Okay, so it's more of like an or not like a theater, a proper theater.
Yeah, and then Cervantes is 1200. Larimer Lounge is about 3, and then Mission Ballroom is about 25 or like 3,000. I think it's massive. It's like a whole like arena. It's like a mini arena. But yeah, they're all so different. And what I've learned about being in Denver is there's levels to it. So like the way you test yourself in the industry and see where you're at is like you know where you are based on what venue you're headlining in Denver. So like you don't go straight to like Mission or straight to Red Rocks, you know. They test you out. Like Tape B, obviously he popped off, so his first one headlining was Ogden, 2 nights that he sold out. So next is going to be Mission Ballroom, and then after that's going to be Red Rocks, you know. So there's like, and because all those venues are owned by the same company, and so it's like, I don't know, it's like a tier thing. But actually I have something coming up in a couple months. Can't talk too much about it, but it's going to be a headline show in Denver at the Black Box. It's going to be super sick. It's going to be my debut for that venue, and on this. And
you're headlining it.
And I'm headlining, and my support is super sick, and it's going to be my debut on a certain agency.
Nice, dude. Congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you. So I'm super excited because me and my manager, we've been like trying to build something like this for like, you know, we were just missing that one thing. Like we get shows a lot now without an agent, but like we're just ready to kind of just take it to the next level and just hit the ground running. So we found a good agent that we're going to start working with. So super excited to get the ball rolling on that around summertime.
Nice, man. How long have you lived in Denver?
December 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not too long.
Not too long at all.
Yeah. How do you like it out there?
I love it. So I actually live technically in Golden, about 15 minutes west of Denver. Like, I think it's west. It's like I live like 10 minutes away from Red Rock. So I live about right next to Morrison. So it's about 15 minutes away from downtown Denver, but I love it. It's like, I'm not in the heat of Denver. I'm like right kind of like close more into like the mountains. It's beautiful. I love it. The people down there, man, all the artists are all over there. Like all my biggest inspirations, like New Year's Eve was my first time going out. And lo and behold, I'm at this random warehouse party after, and then Skrillex shows up, Zeds Dead shows up, Justin J shows up, and I'm just like, this is just Denver stuff, I guess. And I'm like, does this happen all the time? And my boy Ryan, he goes by Humor Me, was like, welcome to Denver. And like, you know, and then I fell into like the right group of people, and so we go out and like I introduced to like all these people that I kind of like looked up to at one point, and like now they're starting to become my friends, and it's like super interesting. Like every night I go out, like I'm just running into people that like I'm like, holy crap, like I've been listening to your music for so long, and now like we're becoming like on a friendly level. It's like that's super sick.
But it's a natural thing too.
Super natural. That's
what I think about sometimes too when I'm doing this. It's like when you get the cosign, but it's just natural.
Yeah,
that's the best.
Yeah,
because it makes you feel like you're you belong there.
Yep, and it's such a good feeling too when they're like, "Oh yeah, I've heard your music actually," and it's like, really?
Yeah, sick. A lot of questions here. Well, I guess one of the questions was, like you grew up in New York.
Yep.
Were you in the city?
No, so I was actually in Westchester, which is about 45 minutes north of the city. So I was like, ever heard of White Plains?
Mm-mm.
No. So like I was in like the White Plains general area. So yeah, it's about 45 minutes. Or I could just hop on a Metro North and take me like 35 minutes to go straight down.
Did you go to the city a lot?
Yeah, I was always in the city because I would always go to like shows out there, like go shopping out there, just go to like, I would take the train sometimes, just go to restaurants out there because they had like some super stoked stuff.
I mean, they got everything. It's
everything.
New York
It's
City.
New York City, yeah. So like I just love cities. I love being surrounded by like tall buildings and
So
like
that's what I
city
was
life.
kind of getting at is Denver's a very different, I mean, and you live in Golden, but it's a different thing.
Yep.
There's way more nature. Like how do you got the concrete jungle and then you got like actual nature.
So I feel like I like like mountains and nature is like my favorite thing, but I love cities also. So I feel like if I wasn't going to be living in Denver, it would either be Asheville. Asheville's like my other favorite place.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I love being,
Asheville's big right now.
freaking love it.
We interviewed Tunic at Lunar Tide and fucking he moved out to Asheville and I was like, that's a spot.
I'm actually playing my first show April 6th there with Killsmith. I'm super excited for that one at the Asheville Music Hall.
Nice.
That's gonna be so fun.
Hell yeah.
I'm just excited to go there. But I wish I got to spend more time though because I have like a show the day before and the day after. So I'm literally just like going to Asheville, playing, waking up, and driving to Wilmington.
Tour
so I'm
life.
like, no, I just want to go. I just want to go for the whole weekend.
Yeah. Do you feel like Golden is still high up, right, altitude wise?
Oh yeah.
So do you feel like your breath capacity is better coming to like Chicago, where we're basically, at the ground floor here?
Oh yeah, I never had like dry skin, dry lips, any of that. Every day I wake up and like my mouth's dry and like my lips are crusted, my hands, I'm like, I just feel like dry, and I'm like waking up like coughing and like it's like I don't know, it's just so
it's pretty
weird.
important to humidify.
I had to get one of those, and I have to drink a lot of water, and like it's good though. You need to drink water, but it's actually forcing me to drink water now. So
Do you feel like it does have an effect on your health? Like, and I mean, like, because it's kind of making yourself stronger.
No, yeah,
sense.
exactly. Like I feel like since I've been here in Chicago, I feel like I have had like more breath. Like it's weird. Like when I'm over there,
nothing more important than having the ability to breathe.
Yeah, that's how you live.
Straight up though, like I mean, I know like when I get anxious, I like kind of don't breathe right.
Yep.
And that feeds the cycle.
Yes.
So like if you can just fucking breathe, you're good.
Yep.
Man. No joke. Like
learning how to I've definitely started doing like breathing exercises, and like I started working out again over there. So like I'm starting to like stretch and try to do yoga.
Got that rock climbing membership.
Yeah. I'm becoming my hair. I'm growing it out.
Yeah.
I'm becoming Denver. Denver's becoming me.
Yeah. I'm becoming one.
Yeah, I am Denver. Denver is me.
That's cool. You didn't have long hair for?
No, I did. I've had long hair since like 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, and I every like couple months I'm like, I'm gonna cut it. I'll go to a barber. I'll go to like a salon or barber shop and go to get my hair cut. And like the last time I went to go cut it was when I was in Nashville, and the lady was like, "No, honey," and she's like, "I'm not cutting your hair."
Oh.
She's like, "It's too beautiful." I was like,
"You do have nice hair."
Thank you.
It's like that good amount of like straight and wavy.
What's crazy too is like, I don't really take good care of it. Like I wash it every day. Every day I have a shower, and like I didn't know you're not supposed to do that. Well,
it stays clean. Like you don't get that greasy look, because that's the other end of it where it's like fucking greasy.
Yeah. So, but I just always thought just wash my hair and condition every day. But I guess like when you don't wash it every day, you have the oils or something like that, natural oils that help it clean. But I've never done that, and like I just feel like I have decent hair, but I definitely need to start cutting it more because it's starting to like starting to become like a cluster
clump,
fudge,
getting a little dready or something.
Yeah, or like just every day, like it's just like the more it's growing out, every time I brush it, it's just becoming more like a fight.
Yeah, bro, I lose a lot of hair when I fucking. I'm just like, am I going bald? Oh my god.
So, when I first started growing my hair, I was realizing that like in the shower, I'm
Yeah.
like, and then I would have these.
Bro, I got that drain that like just catches it. Yeah.
I would be like, am I dying? Do I have like cancer? Like, what is happening? Do I have like diabetes? Like, what is happening? Like, why am I losing hair? Is this safe? But then it's like, no, it's just natural. Your hair is just like ripping apart or breaking, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, so I'll like wash my hair every like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And whenever I do that, I lose so much hair because that's when I end up combing and like doing that. So, but every time I'm just like, Jesus, this is like I have like a hair being that's just in my shower now.
I'll just like go through my hair and then put it on like the shower wall and like just make it like a big cluster, because like this way I can like grab and throw it in like the garbage after, because this way it's not like falling all like getting stuck in the drain.
Bro, I did that for a long time, but you got to get the TubShroom, and I would suggest they sell like a rubber one, but get the metal one. It's like just maybe $2 more expensive, and then you can just like let all that hair go down, and then you just pick up the shroom and pull the hair out, and you're good.
Oh, and okay.
Then you don't have to play that game unless you like making like hair art.
Yeah, sometimes I'm drawing faces and stuff, you know. And I'm just kidding, but no, I'll just like throw it on there. But it's just way it's easier. But I'm gonna look into the bathtub.
I'll send you a link. Yeah, cheap. Save my changed my life. I was like,
this is not a sponsored. By the way,
actually, what happened was I was living with a roommate. I was actually living with a few roommates, and you know, my hair was long and I didn't have the etiquette to like, you know what I'm doing. This is the first time in my life where my hair is like long.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, this hair situation is out of control. Like, you're clogging the pipes. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, sorry, I don't know. And then he bought this thing and it just changed the game.
Yeah.
So this is not a paid sponsorship ad,
but I mean, shroom thing, if you want to sponsor us, Poducer at
actually not a bad thing, because most of the people that come on the show are like us,
long
and like
hair
have long
DJs,
hair, and just saying, hey,
we'll drop a link in the bio.
yeah, you know, for fun. Word. Okay, so I wanted to go back to the Skrillex thing, because just full transparency, Munchie, I was talking to Munchie, the dude who runs Ronin, shout out Munchie. He was telling me that you did a little back-to-back action with Skrilly.
So basically what happened was...
what happened?
I was just there to hang with the homies. My boy Avery, he goes by Tree God, was playing. So we were just there supporting, and then my boy Ryan, there was his deck, so he was like, yeah, come, like, we're gonna hang out. And then there was rumors go circulating. It's like, yo, Skrillex is coming. And I'm like, why would Skrillex come to this? Like the room was like the size of this. Like,
really?
Yeah, and like this.
You can't see the full room here, but it's not that big.
Not that big.
It's like a single car garage, basically.
So it was basically a cargo. If I could describe how it looked,
like a crate, like a cargo crate.
A cargo crate. That's basically what the room was. So. So we're there hanging out, and then I'm with my friend Luke. He goes by Lumacy, and so Don Jamal was the headliner for that night. He didn't end up showing up like immediately, so like they were like, who wants to play? Me and Lumacy were like, all right, let's run it. So we're playing, and then Don Jamal like pops in, Super Future walks in, and Dags, and then we're like, hey, run it. So they take over, and then all of a sudden like we're just hanging out, and then Skrillex comes walking in, like he's like hugging
like
everybody.
New Skrill, like the new, like he's looking fresh.
But the weird thing was, I was like, he just like walks in by himself, like how's it going?
No posse, no
posse, no security, and like he's just like, hey, how's it going? Shaking everyone's hands, giving people hugs, like so like the biggest smile, like just a bright light just walked in the room, and like we were all just like, is that
the
Skrillex?
fuck?
Like what?
Yeah.
And then he starts playing, and then it just started getting more and more packed as word got out, and like by that time,
people are like,
that time, if you were in the cargo crate, you're like sardine in a can, like you're not moving. And then I was like behind him, like right by, like standing on the speakers, and there was like 100 people back there too, because people were like just like
it was starting to become a fire hazard.
No, honestly, like that was not safe. Like it was to the point where like I walked I walked through the front and I accidentally got stuck because I was like, I couldn't go out the back because people were clogging. Like I was in between, like the speakers were right here, and there was like a little walkway that can go into like the back where the green room was, that you can go around and walk through out the front door. But there was a clusterfuck of people, and like you could not walk. So I was like, all right, I'm trying to walk through the front, or like out around the stage and through the crowd. Bad idea. I was like on the wall, kind of like shimmying and like trying to like. It took me like 30 minutes to get out that bitch, and by that time I got out. I was like, I'm going home. It was like Zeds Dead was there playing. Justin J was going with Zeds Dead, and like it was sick. But I was like, I can't be in there. I was dying of heat.
Yeah, you already got out. Yeah.
I already got out, and by that time I was like, if I go in there, like I first of all I can't even get back in there unless I go through that again. I was like, I'm not doing it. But it was wild. Like Zeds Dead and Skrillex are my biggest inspiration. So Zeds Dead, like when I first started producing in COVID, my biggest dream was to sign to Deadbeats. I bought these jogger pants, and they have Deadbeats on them. And every time I would be in the studio, I'd be wearing the Deadbeats pants.
So you're chilling there. And were you on decks or were you...
me and Lumacy were going back to back. But when we saw like everyone walk in, we were just kind of like, all right, y'all just go. Y'all play. Like we had enough. And like
when Skrill walks in, it's kind of, oh, the decks are open.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear him play. I didn't even want to touch it because I was like,
but was there like a changeover type of thing, like yo, like good
he was really hugging everyone, like it was, and then my boy Avery was like, I just hugged Skrillex. I was like,
save the sweat.
And then I shook his hand, and then I looked over at my friend. I'm like, I'm not washing my hand ever. He goes, I wouldn't either. It was just funny, but it was super sick because like those are just like people I've looked up to for. I mean, I started getting into the industry like as like attending shows since 2014. So and everyone knows Skrillex, everyone knows Zeds Dead, you know, like it was like those were my favorite artists back in the day. So like even now, so it was just like crazy to be in the same room at the same time on New Year's Eve, like unexpected, just so random, and just watching them play at like until 6 a.m. Like it was just an experience.
Yeah,
what an introduction to Denver.
Yeah, seriously, what a crazy that would be like the thing where you're just like, I guess I'll stay here.
Yeah,
like,
literally. I was like, because it was starting to get late. It was like 3 a.m. and like I was like, man, I'm getting tired. I think I'm gonna head back. And then Skrillex walks in. I was like, oh, there's my second wind.
It was already 3 a.m.
Oh yeah,
damn.
Because he pulled up with Justin J after Decadence, because he played Decadence with Zeds Dead. He showed up, and then like Hooks in DC from Zeds Dead that walks in the door, and I'm like in there like cool like pimp like furry jackets, and I'm like, oh, it's lit now. I was like, this is about to be crazy. But it was just like, I was like, wow, I love Denver.
Yeah.
And it's just, since then, it's like, it's happened so many times. Like every time I go out, like to these secret, like if you ever are in Denver and you see a secret lineup warehouse party, go. Because 9 times out of 10, it'll be some like cracked producer, like crazy, like, or just even some underground people that are just wild. You know, I've discovered so many people since I've been there.
Yeah.
That like, I'm like, wow, Denver is just full of talent.
So where do you normally find these secret lineups? Is it like an Instagram post, like a poster? Like...
So like this one sound company, Koja Sound, I feel like they're like always, so they were the ones that did the New Year's Eve show. They're always the ones doing the like the secret events, like that sound system. So if I follow them, so it's like whenever they're posting like a lineup, it's usually like question mark UK artist or like something like that, and it's like, who's this? And it'll be like surprise guests or like this, like that, and you just have to go. It's like you just have to go. I don't know. I always like to show up at those because you never know who you're gonna see, who it's gonna be, and even if it's a nobody, not like they're probably gonna play something you've never heard, and it's gonna be like, whoa, this is sick.
Yeah, dude, damn, that's fucking. It feels like Denver. Like Ashton was like, dude, Chicago's my favorite city for music, and everyone has a different city that they love, you know. Do you have any other cities that like come close to that Denver mark? We're also just at a point in history right now where Denver is like the bass capital. Yeah, if you were to say it
exactly.
Like that.
So like if you're making 140 deep dub, like experimental bass music, and you want to be in an environment that you're surrounded by like-minded people that are doing the same type of music you're doing, it's Denver. Like it's Denver, you know. And Chicago is like if you're doing like house, techno, or rhythm, You know, like there's certain cities that have like these little pockets and like these niches, but Denver is 100% the bass capital. And like, what other city would I say? I really liked playing in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, that was like, they have crazy energy over there, and like you could play anything and they'll go wild.
Because there's a lot of different people.
Yeah, it's just so they like everything.
Walks of life.
And I played my first show over there in Brooklyn back in October, and it was like, show went to like 5 a.m. and these crazy ass motherfuckers, they stay till 5 a.m. and I'm like, I don't like, usually like if a show goes till 2, people start funneling out like 1:30, you know, but they all stayed till 5 o'clock in the morning, and then they're all afterwards like, what are we doing after? It's like, bro, go to bed.
Damn, that's crazy. So New York, yeah, of course, New York, that's just like a hub for so much cool stuff.
I love it.
Do you ever feel the oversaturation effect, like in the sense that you're making bass music, you're in Denver, there's a lot of people doing that? Does it ever feel competitive? Do you ever get kind of like, oh, like what's so special about me, or you know,
so
getting in your feels?
Yeah. So before I moved there, I've been wanting to move there for a while, but I wanted to at least go there with enough music in my discography and enough shows under my belt, and like a little bit of a name to where I'm not going there and I'm fighting for my life to play shows or get work with these artists, you know, like.
Yeah.
So I waited until a point to where at least like I built a little bit of a following to go out there, to where I'm not asking for shows. Like I don't even actually want to play in Denver, unless it's like a really big show or like a headlining show. I'm just out there to, you know, working with artists, you know, I just want to be in the environment, and like, because I want to go to all these shows and I want to be with all these artists. But I definitely wouldn't have gone there with like starting out, because I feel like that could be brutal. It's like, you know, fighting for your life to like get in front of the right people or play shows or get booked, because it's, yeah, like you said, oversaturated. There's everyone that wants to make bass music is out in Denver, you know, whether you're a star or you're just starting out. Like, it's just a place to be, because there's 19 venues, like a show every event, like shows going, 5 shows every night of the week. It's like just a place to be.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it kind of goes to what your personality type is.
Yep.
If you can, you know, go there and accept that, you know, you're gonna, sorry, I just got a text. If you can go there and we're getting a surprise guest.
Uh-oh. It's about to get swampy in here.
Yeah. If you can go there and put your ego aside, and let's say you're really a newbie, you could go there and get a mentor and figure some shit out and level up real quick.
Oh yeah.
If people, you know, are willing to give you the advice. Mm-hmm. But I could also see, you know, that you're like, fuck, like I'm so new to this, and like, I don't know, some people are doing it so much better than me.
Oh yeah,
whatever,
even
you know?
even like even now, like when I go out to shows, like, because there's always someone that's like way better than you, like has a bigger name, bigger image. So you're like, unless you're Skrillex, there's always going to be someone better than you, because like, you know, you're not the best. But so everywhere you go, you have to be humble, because there's always going to be in the room with you someone better, you know?
Here, I actually got some notes that I wanted to ask you about, just actually some things that I pulled off your Twitter, now X. But, you know, you said, I'll just read it. Big moves are being made behind the scenes right now. This is February, by the way. New logo, new visuals, growing our team, signing to an agency, bigger shows, tons of music. Super excited at the way things are looking right now. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. New logo, new visuals. Like, who are you, or not who, but like, when did you realize, like, okay, I need to like step this up. Like, I need to do better.
So, I had this logo for the last year, and it just wasn't really me, you know, like, it just like, I've been battling this like demon of like, what do I want the branding to be behind Ghost Lotus? Like, what is my vision? What music? I didn't really know what music I was going to start going towards, because ever since I've been making music, I just hop in the studio and I just make whatever, you know. I don't really hear a distinct sound, because I just make so many different styles and all these different sounds. And
such a thing that I hear so much from like every producer. They're like, I just make what I want. Yeah.
But it's like, I hear some artists, you know, and like every song has this one sound and tonality, and I like that to an extent, but it's like, I like when I play sets, right? I don't like the set sounding like one giant song. I like my sets being like a roller coaster. Like you're going through every genre, every BPM. You're going through everything, and because then at the end of it, you're like, whoa! I was dancing, I was headbanging, I was shuffling. Like it's cool. Like I was crying, I was vibing. Like I like that, and it's like I just feel like I can't really put that feeling into music if I'm using just like one like palette of sounds, you know. I like to, like, obviously my drums are what I would like to say would be like my like thing that it has remained similar, and I do have like a lot of sounds that I use in a lot of different songs that like kind of glues all my music together, but it's like there's never like that one thing that you hear in every song that's like, oh wow, look, you can tell it's him. And that's what I've been battling. But now I'm starting to come to things like, okay, I don't need my music to have that one sound. I just want to have something that like a solid brand. So I got this new logo made. I wanted something like edgy, tactical, like something that's like dark but like aggressive, but like not, I don't know. And I just feel like
with the font, is it out?
Yeah, it's yeah. And I got this little like cool lotus flower on like that from like my emblem too. And I think everything's starting to come together. And we know that we're starting to get more shows, more festivals, and so it's like, okay, things are happening to where like I needed to pick it up now because I want to be legit. So it's like I don't want to start getting all these things, and you know, it's just like, who is this guy? You know, I want to come proper so that like when I'm being introduced to a new fan base or a new person listens to, they look at that and they're like, ooh, I can relate to that, or I can vibe with that, or like, ooh, I like that logo, or like I like that music, and you know, you want to look me up, you want to like check me out, like, and then you want to now you listen to my music, now you follow me on my pages, and like now you're part of my Ghost Lotus family. And like that's what I think a strong brand really does, is it brings in it brings in like your people that you relate to and the people you make your music for, you know?
Yeah, I feel like when you get people who are following you, you want to have a strong logo. You want to have a strong like thing for people to be like proud about. Like, yeah, like I follow this. This is cool. Mm-hmm. You know, he took the time to make this cool. Yeah. So I could appreciate it.
Yeah, like you have like Rez, right? Or like Rez or Mersive, or like those big brand name people, right? That have these like cult like followings, and like some people hate on it, but I'm like, that's cool. Like they literally, like you go to their shows and everyone's wearing merch, or like you go to a Red show and everyone's wearing the goggles on, and it's like, that is like, I want to look out and see people all like having my type of like what's it called, aesthetic, you know? It's like you go to my show and it's like everything just looks like it would be a Ghost Lotus show, you know? And like that's what a strong brand does. It builds like this like cool, just like big following of people, and like I don't know, it's just super neat. Something I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah. Is this something you're, you know, finding people to do, and like finding like good guys that are already doing this for other brands, or like? Yeah,
so Jared, the guy that did my logo this time, my manager Jared, he does. So Jared, my manager, owns Soundhaven, the music festival. Yeah. So the guy that does all the branding for Soundhaven, this guy also does. Oh, nice. So he was just like, hey, work with this guy, he's pretty good. So we worked together. Took a bunch of trial and error, but we finally got it, and I was like, this is the one, like this is it right here. I was like, no more edits, I like it, let's run with it.
Yeah, let's go. Something simple that you can put on a lot of stuff and use in myriad of different ways. You know, you mentioned Soundhaven, the other festival you wrote here, it was like, let me just find it really quick. Something about like Soundhaven, like you've been to Soundhaven, then there was this other festival and you're like, now I'm booked for both.
Yeah, so in 2022, I was living in Nashville. I didn't know nobody, and I didn't know Jared. I was kind of intimidated by him because, you know, he was like this, he owns Sacred Hive, like he owns like one of the coolest festivals, and so I was always like, I want to meet him, but one of my friends was his roommate, so over time, like I'd be introduced to him, and like when I was starting to get booked out there, he'd be at the shows, and then one day he booked me to play with Lucid and Vector, and literally after that set, he was like, Tyler, come here. He goes, do you have any management? I was like, no. He goes, now you do. I was like, oh crap, okay. And then that year, okay, so the year before actually was 2021. Wait, 2022. I went to Soundhaven. I just a fan in the crowd, and I was like, I want to play here one day. That same year in August, I went to Imagine, and I was like, damn, I want to play here one day. Imagine, yeah, I want to play here one day too. And then literally the next year, the only 2 festivals I played was Soundhaven and Imagine. So I was like, it's just cool how like I really am a strong believer in manifestation and like speaking things into existence. And like I used to be like, I want to be traveling DJ. I want to be. Instead of doing that though, you write, I am a really talented national touring DJ. I played Electric Forest. I did this. I am this. Because you want to like captivate the feeling of actually being in the spot you want to be instead of looking like thinking about it like, does that make sense?
Yeah, like that there's no discrepancy, that you're just like, I am doing
this. No, it's because it's like if you say you are like I am Ghost Lotus, I am like a nationally touring DJ who makes a living and like from my music.
You set a certain standard for yourself.
You want to put yourself there before you're already there. So like, I don't know. It's just like, that's what I've been doing recently. Like when I do my morning pages or when I write like, you know, my manifestations and stuff like that, like I always speak like I'm in it now, because then it's like, I don't know, then it's like something that like you look forward towards even more.
That's interesting. When did you, because we were talking before this about how you do morning pages, which is basically like you open up a notebook, just write in it, kind of offload data that you're thinking about, and it just helps you kind of, whatever, start the day in a nice way where you're not thinking about you don't have all these intrusive thoughts. When did you start doing things like this? The manifestation.
So, I never really was spiritual or big into like all this stuff until I started getting I got this one book, the one I told you about. I can't remember the name, but it was a 2-part book. The one was the one where you read, and then the other one it was like a workbook.
I think I know which book you're talking about. It's like a yellow and red cover.
And red, yeah, that's the exact one.
And it's like a really popular book for people who are making art, because it kind of helps you figure out your process, basically,
and get into a system. And so once I read that, then I was doing the workbook simultaneously.
Yes.
At the same time. And so every day, like to be more creative, I would clear my head every morning with just thoughts and just things that everything that came to my mind, just write. And then by the end of it, flip the page, never go back to it. This way, once I hit the studio, my mind is clear, and and it's just like a blank canvas instead of me like, you know, going through something and then, you know, I'm like in my head and I can't really focus on what I want to make.
Maybe you're distracted by this thought that you could have just like been like, that's throwaway.
Yep, but you got rid of it. You cleared it. You cleared your head, and now like you go to make music, and it's like you just notice it over time. You're starting to just like being like more in your pocket, in your zone when you hit the computer, when you hit Ableton or whatever DAW you're in. After you like clear your head a little bit and like, you know, maybe meditate before.
It kind of reminds me of like if ideas are these things that are floating around and they come through you in some way. Like if you don't acknowledge it and it goes through you, it doesn't get like a green check mark. So it's just sitting there in the ether, and maybe it'll come back in like in an hour or something.
Exactly.
But when you write it down, it's imprinted. This is at least visually how I would think of what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I don't know. It's just the more I go in the industry, I'm starting to learn more and more things that can help benefit me to make me a better artist and make me a better DJ. You know, I'm just trying to I'm trying everything, you know. Because I want to do this for a living. I want to, you know, be the top name on these flyers one day. And I just think that it's just really important to try and better yourself in every way possible. So that's what I'm trying to do in every aspect of the game.
Have that discipline. Yeah, it's like I remember reading that book, and then I was like always thinking like, damn, I should really try this out. Like I'll read or listen to people talk about stuff, and then I'm like, am I going to do that? You know, how often do you actually implement stuff? Are you someone who like hears stuff and gives it a genuine college try, or are you a little resistant? Like, I'm a little stubborn, I think.
I am too. Like, I won't try it unless I know someone that did it and they're like, this worked. Trust me, you can trust me on this. But like, if one person says it, I'm like, maybe. But if like I hear it from a couple other people and it's like, no, trust me, this works. Like, I've done it. Then I'm more willing to give it a shot. But I'm not like, someone's like, yeah, do this. I'm like, that sounds.
Who are you in my life? Yeah.
Oh, I saw this one thing. Never take advice from someone that isn't where you want to be and like who isn't doing something that you want to be doing. So like, I would never take production advice or touring advice or something from someone that's not a producer or like a touring DJ or something like that, because what do they know about it, you know? So I so I want to just stop you real quick, because like, you have a lot of offshoots of people in industry, like music industry people. So are you even saying like, if someone's trying to give you advice about production and they're like a tour manager, you're like, nah, but maybe at the same time they've seen other artists do something. So it's like, is there a gradient? Yeah, there's definitely like levels to it, you know, like, but I just feel like it's important. And that's with anything in life though. It's like I wouldn't take fitness advice from someone that's 250 pounds and they sit on the couch all day and play video games, you know?
Right.
It's just like, that's just like a metaphor, like say like a metaphor, but it's like, I genuinely listen to people that are doing something that I need the advice in, or like doing something well and succeeding in it. Then I'll listen to them, you know? Or even like someone who's telling you about music production. See, this can get kind of dicey too, where it's like someone who's younger or not as experienced and telling you something about music production. They might actually have some hack that you don't know about, but at the same time, you might be farther along. So exactly. It's like, it seems like you always kind of got to like filter it through and be like, how do I take this advice? Mm-hmm. Do I use it? Then that's the thing. It's like I'll always listen to everyone though, but the things I will implement in my day-to-day life are just things that I have a feeling of, because I don't like wasting my time, you know? It's like, because then if like I try something and I try it for a little bit and it doesn't work and I'm like, man, I totally just wasted that whole amount of time doing something that I had a bad feeling about, it wasn't going to work. So that's why I generally I like to listen to people that are well educated on what they're trying to tell me, you know? Yeah, no, I feel that for sure. In terms of like how you manage your time between music production, DJing, touring, how do you like set timers and stuff? Do you like, what's the spread basically? So that's actually something I've been working on. So I actually do have a Monday through Friday job. I work for Guitar Center, but I work from home. Actually, clutch to work for Guitar Center as an audio person, because you're like, I got some deals. Oh, I get crazy discounts. Bro, can you... Paid gig leave. Jesus. Can you get like deals on DJ? I'm trying to buy something. No, yeah, I get... I have friends and family discounts that are 20% off. Bro, I'm trying to buy a RX2. Yeah, I can literally hook you up just with that. On the podcast, like trying to buy shit. No, but like, yeah, because it's just... Anyway, we can talk about that. If anyone needs anything for Guitar Center, let me know. Because like you're like a rep, so you're trying to sell stuff. Well, so I don't necessarily like cold call and like, hey, want to buy a guitar? So basically, what I do is I talk to a lot of people that they're interested in trying to build like a studio, and like I'll have to work. We'll get back to this. Yeah. We'll come back this week. We got a surprise guest coming in. Yeah. Yeah. Ski. And we're back. Yo. So we are back with a special guest, Swampz.
What's good?
Welcome, man.
How we living?
We're chilling. Yeah, we were just having a conversation. I was trying to buy some gear. Okay. He was saying that he works for Guitar Center. I was like, yo, let me get some
let me get some of that.
Yeah,
I
basically.
Love Guitar Center. Just like the vibes.
Bro, it's fun. You go in there.
I can spend hours in that bitch, bro.
Oh, yeah, just fucking around with synths and like, oh, I need this cable.
Literally.
Bring a USB. You can mess around on some CDJs for like hours.
Yeah, exactly. I've had to do that. Like the first CDJ thing I had, I was like, oh shit, I need to know that this USB is going to work. So just like pulled up the Guitar Center, testing it out on the exact mixer that I know I'm going to use. It's like, you got to have it.
No, that's how I first learned how to use CDJs. Going in there.
Really?
Plugged in, yep. I had a show coming up. I had no idea how to use CDJs. Went to Guitar Center, super clutch.
Did you have a mixer at home that wasn't record box?
Yeah, it was Serato actually.
Bro, same. This is the same situation.
And I had like no idea. And then like the day before my show, there's like, you need to be like on record box. And I'm like, what the fuck?
And all your cue points, you're like, goodbye.
Yep. Unless
there are programs that will transfer them, but they're like subscriptions. I'm like, yep, no.
Yep. And I don't know. I didn't understand how the sync button worked really on CDJs versus like on the DDJs and Serato. It was a bit different, and I was like using the sync button, and like I definitely like train wrecked my set. Because I had like one song that was like 70 BPM, and then another song that was like 140 BPM.
So it goes halftime.
I synced it.
Oh, no.
And then like the drop was like super fast, and like I was like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Like
and
I was meant to do that. Yeah.
I was like clicking the sync button, thinking you're just gonna turn off, and it's just like going fast as fuck. And then like my homie had to come up and like
wiggle it. Master temp, hit the master tempo button.
And I was
Dude,
like,
first set that I did, luckily it was like a house set, so it kind of just stayed at 120 basically.
Oh, yeah.
Like the tempos were going up, but it just stayed locked, and I was like, looking at my friend, I was like, bro, I don't know how to change this. He's like, it's fine, just you're good. But then he showed me that thing, you gotta like wiggle it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll I guess maybe we finish the conversation about Guitar Center really quick. Just you work there.
Yeah. So basically, okay, so you were asking me how I juggle like how I do like my timing. Do I make like a schedule?
And then we're gonna circle back.
So
do a little origin
basically.
story.
Hopefully my manager doesn't watch this from the Guitar Center, but I actually don't really...
Wait. Do you want to say this?
He ain't gonna watch it. He did.
Okay.
Basically, I don't really do too much work during the day. I actually, so in my studio, like it's like I have a V desk. So on this side is like my music studio, and this side is my work. So I just sit in the middle. Like I'll be making music all day, like answering the phones, just turn. But then like... I don't know. I'm really a big procrastinator, so I don't make my sets. I just like the day of, like an hour before my set, I'll just go into record box and throw like 100 songs in a folder and like so that. But I hate doing that because I don't know. I kind of like don't really put too much thought into what I'm gonna play, and then I kind of freak out. Like I'm up there like the other night, I didn't know what I was gonna play. I didn't know what like I was gonna start with, so like I was like up there for a couple like seconds, like and then like I was trying to find the next song because I was like, where am I gonna go from here? Like what kind of vibe do I want to start with? And so I was like. That song was almost ending, and I just like echoed out, and I was like, "All right, y'all ready to go?" And I was like, "All right, now we gotta go somewhere now." And then I just started up from there, and like you gotta find your flow.
So you're not like a cue point DJ necessarily.
No, I kind of just wing it.
Just go for it.
I just wing it. Like it's like I don't know. I just like playing all the different genres, and like I just like go all over the place. So like I don't know, but. I guess like if I do like a really big set, I put some more thought into it. But like festivals,
like, I don't want to fuck this up.
Yeah, like festivals, I definitely would put some more thought in. But like shows, I just like having fun. You know, I just like getting drunk and just playing whatever the fuck I want to play. You know,
and just knowing like I got tracks.
Yeah, and even if I do mess up, it's like. Whatever. It's like at least you know I'm DJing.
Yeah, that's true. It's not just like a pre-recorded set
or like
something. God, that would be so embarrassing to have a pre-recorded set on some like real low-key shit. To get found out.
Listen to this. So I was playing this camping festival. I was playing this little camping. It was like one of my first ever festivals back in like 2021, and this one dude, I shit you not, was playing his set, and the whole thing was pre-recorded, and then he would run out to the front and like hit whippets, and then the music would start transitioning, and me and my friend Trey were sitting down like, there's no freaking way. He walks up there, kicks the dude off the decks and starts playing. He's like, nah, bro, you're disrespecting this scene right now. Kicked him off the decks and started playing. Like, it was just the funniest thing. And then I was like, bro, like he's literally pre-recording a set, and like to the one of like the people that do the show, he's like, yeah, he does that. I'm like,
what?
I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, it's, you go to Miami or you go to Ultra Music Festival, you see Tiesto. It's like,
yeah, but I mean, okay, so I get it to when you're playing. I don't ever want to get to that, like where I have to pre-record my sets like a full. But if I see why these artists that are nationally touring and they're playing 250 shows a year and they're playing in front of 150,000 people, I get, sometimes they'll make like little like segments of like edits, like 15-minute long segments to where like it's more of a show at that point, a performance. So they'll make like 15-minute intervals of like edits that like they're not really doing transitions, but they're like doing effects and stuff, but it's like 15 minutes straight of just like that music is just playing, and then like they'll might just like have another segment that they play, but it's because you're playing in front of 150,000, 200,000 people at one of the biggest. You can't mess up.
Yeah.
And it's going with the visuals. It's like a whole show performance. So I can see why some people like Rez, they'll make these pre-recorded sets, but it's like if you're like on like our level, it's like if you make a pre-recorded set, you're just like you're just like dumb at that point.
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah, it's like what are you doing it for?
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, since we are now joined by Swampz, let's
open the floor to Swampz.
Let's wind it back.
What's good?
What's good, man? I started out the podcast. I asked Ghost Lotus what his first concert was. What was the first concert that you attended?
First concert ever was Blink 182 when I was in like 7th grade or something like that. I count that as my first concert because that's when I like went alone with my friends. I've been to concerts before that when I was like younger, but that's my first like real concert experience.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a fire first concert.
His was Papa Roach.
Yeah, we were the most annoying like middle schoolers ever, just like screaming all the lyrics. I remember these girls in front of us were like turning around like, who are these like freaking little squeaky kids screaming all the lyrics.
And where was this?
This is Fiddler's Green in Denver.
In Denver, okay. Are you from Denver?
Yep, I grew up in Denver, lived there until I was about like 19, lived in Arizona for a bit, and then I moved back to Denver. So
nice.
Yep, living there now.
Feels like that's the spot to be. I mean, we were talking about this before about, you moved there in December, had like a crazy, foray into the scene. It's definitely the spot right now for bass music. I mean, I don't even like. I'm trying to think. We covered it for a while, like the scene out there. But do you like being out there? Like, obviously, it's home to an extent.
Oh yeah, I just felt like it was definitely the place where I needed to be. I mean, growing up there, I like took it for granted, and then I moved somewhere else, and I was like, wait, there's not bass shows every weekend. What the hell is going on here? But then, I don't know. I just felt I needed to go back there, especially with what I was trying to do. And also, it was just home, family's there.
So
friends,
actually,
stuff like that.
This is kind of interesting because you've been there. How has it changed? Like you were saying, there were bass shows, but like, was it as rampant as it is now? Because I haven't been to Denver in a while, and I mean, they were doing bass music shows, but it seems like it's like the Mecca now.
Yeah, I remember what really got me hooked on bass music is I went to Global Dub Festival in like 2015 or some shit. I don't know. I was probably like 15, 16 years old. Like, I don't know exactly what year it was, but it was like Excision playing, and it was at Red Rocks. And I remember Red Rocks back then, the sound was a lot louder, just like the volume of the speakers. And then it kind of got ruined because there were all these complaints and stuff, so they can't play it as loud anymore. But I just, for some reason, maybe it was because of my first time going and experiencing the rave, but I just felt like the vibe overall was very pure, and it was very just like good vibes. Everyone's just happy, having fun. And then I don't know it's definitely back then. Also, you'd go to shows and it wasn't completely packed out, but everyone there was just super cool,
with
genuine. Yep. But I still love the scene there now. I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's definitely changed in that there's a lot more people going to shows, and then also like back in the day, I feel like everyone was like rolling Candy Kids, having fun. Yeah. Now everyone's all like K'd out.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I feel like Ketamine might have ruined the dance floor.
Oh, it did, 100%.
I don't have much judgment either way, but I just like...
I've never done it, but I've heard, I mean, like the effects, and it seems like it wouldn't be a good...
I mean, it turns everyone into, like to say, I call them ducks. You start waddling, and you can't really make out words, so you start quacking, and like, I don't know, I just call them ducks, because they just lose their whole brain.
Yeah, I mean, the Molly and that whole thing, you know, gives you energy. You're like, yeah, let's dance.
Let's do this.
Everyone's like, I love you, I love you, I love you. You're like, like
sick.
All energy. And everyone's just like, what's good?
Am I here? Yeah. Damn. Okay, so it's changed drug culture wise. Do you feel
that's one of the changes.
Bring back Molly.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring back MDMA. Well, exactly. So I actually don't even know. This might be part of it. Is like, is ketamine less affected by the fentanyl aspect, or is that because now I feel like for myself, I mean, I don't even really do drugs like that, very sparingly, just because I'm like, bro, like, who am I gonna get it from? How am I gonna know it's safe? Like, I can do the test kit, whatever, but
that's my thing.
I feel like it's just like not worth it at this point for myself. I've already experienced it too, so I'm like, I'm good. Right, it's not good for your brain, but I mean, do we think? I mean, I don't even know. Is ketamine? You can snort it. You can what?
So ketamine, like, you can actually get, so it's like an actual medical thing. So it actually has, if you use it for the right purposes and reasons, it has really beneficial,
like medicinal
like effects.
For sure.
But, you know, that's like going to get an IV and like, you know, getting a certain amount, but it's a horse tranquilizer.
Right.
It's not supposed to be snorted in a way like, it's a disassociative, you know, it's like, like, I don't know. It's
you're like out of body. Yeah, they use it for therapy for people. They work with a therapist. It's a real legit like potential healing drug. But from how it's described, I don't know if I'd want to do that out. But
that's not my cup of tea.
But what you were asking, I do feel like it's definitely a lot less affected by fentanyl. It's not laced with fentanyl as much as like I hear cocaine is laced with fentanyl. When you hear of fentanyl overdoses, a lot of times it's
cocaine
when people are doing cocaine or like pills or something like that. I've never heard of a case where ketamine's laced with fentanyl, but I don't know. That's
it's possible.
But
it's possible.
But I feel like it's less mixed with other drugs or laced with other drugs. It's more of a,
like if you're a drug dealer, right? Why are you killing your clients? Like that's my thing. That's my thing. I'm like, don't you want people to come back and buy so you can, you know? But no, let me just kill everybody in the streets. That's why the government.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, why is like China and Mexico? Is it that it's coming in from there? It's like we gotta get on that shit.
Yeah. Oh, and all it takes is one little.
That's the thing, and I'm so sensitive to anything that like I would die.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not one of those guys that's just like, no. I'll be okay.
I'm a tank. I got this.
No, like I would die. So it's just like, it's staggering to the numbers. Like this is the part of the podcast where we talk, be safe.
Yeah.
You know, have fun, seriously. But like,
shout out Dance Safe.
What is that?
It's like a booth, a company that they go to all these festivals, and you're allowed to go up there and test your drugs without getting in trouble.
What?
Yeah. So they have festivals. They'll test your drugs for you. Just, you know,
it's just like undercover cops.
Yeah, no, like, because like I get it though, because like they know people are gonna go to these festivals and do drugs. So at least like be safe about it. They don't want people dying, and like it's like it's to where it's like you're honest, like you're up there, and like I don't think. I mean, who knows? They might have like undercovers like
chilling next
to it, like, and then follow you into the crowd, and then boom, you're arrested. But like people like that's cool though. It's like you're able to go there, test your drugs, and then if they test fentanyl, it's like, holy crap, you just saved my life. I would have about to die.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's wild. I don't know, man. They need to come up with like a new drug.
Yeah,
no,
right?
I don't know.
Where are the Quaaludes at?
Yeah, I guess. That's like
that would really be a shit show.
Yeah.
No, I always love watching that because my friends are always like, "Damn," he's like, "You know what? One thing I want to try that I'll never be able to try is a Quaalude." Mm-hmm. And it's like I don't like after watching Wolf of Wall Street when he's like on
crawling.
Don't pick up the phone.
He's foaming out the mouth. I mean, maybe one time for the one time.
Yeah, you gotta try everything once.
Yeah. No, I feel that. All right, man. So let's go a little. We did kind of origin story, but we can do both origin stories.
Yeah, go to his. Just go to his.
Yeah.
I'll think about mine.
So how did you get into music production? Like, what did you start with? What genre? Just how did it happen?
For me, it was definitely I was just going to shows, and as much as I love being out on the dance floor, I would look up at the DJ and I would say to myself, how can I get there? That seems cool, you know? So I started just watching YouTube videos on music production. I wasn't even sure what genre I really wanted to make. I was a big fan of dubstep, obviously, but also loved house music. I loved rap music, all sorts of stuff. And so I just a lot of DJs, they first start off, or producers, they start off mixing, so they get the DJ board and they mix. They learn that, but I went straight into production. So I downloaded FL Studio at first, and then I was learning FL Studio, and then I learned FL Studio. I got all right at it. I was making hip hop beats, and then I was making really horrible dubstep, and I just wasn't good at dubstep. And then I was like messing around. I was making tropical house because
let's go.
I don't know. I was just like, I would look, even though that's not where my heart was. My heart was definitely dubstep, but I'd look online and I'd see like, oh, Excision has like 1 million plays on this YouTube video, but then I'd see like Kygo and it'd be like 40 million.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I was like, essentially like, I'm gonna just sell myself out from the beginning. No, I don't know. So I was like, maybe but I also couldn't make dubstep. And so I was like messing around making tropical house, like all sorts of stuff.
I think you said on Twitter, you were like, everyone starts out producing future bass.
That's
and
when I
then
started
you grow
future
up.
bass. Yeah, and then you grow up and then you make real shit.
I feel like future bass is like
you can go anywhere.
And it's like kind of like in that like tropical house, like it's tropical feeling, and there's maybe some overlap in sounds.
Yeah.
Like it's the same vibe where people are like out on the beach, like having a good time.
It was like trappy future bass though, kind of like Flume.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I fuck with that. Yeah.
Bring back tropical house.
Yeah.
What happened to Kygo?
Bro,
he's living. He's rich as fuck.
Yeah, he's just
rich
living his
as
life.
Man toured for like 10 years, made 40 mil per show, and then fucking did.
Yeah. But I had a couple like different projects. So I had like one that was like Maloa, and that released like tropical house. And then I like had another one like Godzilla, which I like thought of the name because I was like super big fan of Jaws. And like, I don't know, that's one of my biggest inspirations when I first started production too. I saw like this video of him at Hard Summer, and he was like, a year ago I was out in the crowd with y'all, like, and now he's playing like in front of like this like massive crowd, and he like would post all this inspirational shit on Facebook, and I was like, I can do this. So I was making like bass house too, and then I like finally started getting better at dubstep, and I went through like 10 different names. I went through like L's, Grums was one.
Grums is kind of cool.
And then
Grums kind of smacks, yeah.
Yeah, Grums. and then I finally went to Swampz because I remember I was just thinking like a lot of my music I was making was like very distorted, like muddy sounding, swampy, and like I don't know. Also, there was swamp is a big term that's been thrown around in bass music. I remember there was
we got Swamp Woofer here.
Yeah, like Swamp Sessions was like this like rhythm. It was like these rhythm mixes that I used to listen to, and then I just like typed in Swampz on SoundCloud with a Z, and nobody had it, and I'm like, yep, that's me.
The old Z turnaround,
but it also fits your whole aesthetic and the sound too. Like
the Z hits a little harder.
Oh yeah, the Z's fire. The V sucks as an A. I hate that.
You do see that was in that trap era on SoundCloud, where for sure. Okay.
And then, so I swooped up that name, and I'm like, yep, I'm Swampz.
This is it.
Like, swooped up that name, and then just been rolling with this since.
Hell yeah. I actually didn't ask about Ghost Lotus.
Okay, so stupid story.
And this is the thing. The names, it's not really important that it has like a good story, but I like
it's
to
kinda
ask.
interesting. So at first I was just Ghost. Just GHOST Ghost. And then I was working and I was at a U-Haul, like a U-Haul, because I was working for this like production company, and then we were filling up propane tanks at like a U-Haul place. On the side of a U-Haul, it said Ghost Lily, because you know how they have like flowers and stuff on some of them, and it was like a beautiful flower. It said Ghost Lily, and I was like, that's cool. And then I went to a head shop later that night, and I was like buying a bong, and they had all these lotus flowers everywhere, and they had one of them. It was like a Buddha laying on a lotus flower but it was an incense holder, and it had this smoke coming down of it, like, and I was like, Ghost Lotus. I was like, Ghost Lotus. I was like, that's it. Ghost Lotus. I was like, that's it right there. I'm running with it. And so I just did that. I was like, I like that. I don't know. It seems cool. It's like,
you don't have to explain yourself. Yeah. I'm just gonna tell you right now. You don't have to explain yourself. It's a name, man. Like Skrillex. That was like his messenger, like AIM name or something.
Really?
Yeah. I was like,
damn. I'm gonna rebrand it Crazy Cuz 56. That was my first AOL.
Bro, or like your Xbox Live gamer tag or something. It's like the same thing type. You just think of something.
Yeah.
Mine was Optimus Crime. And that was actually kind of dope. That. Yeah,
you could do like a whole like
dubstep.
You could do like a whole Transformers branding thing. Like
back when Excision started, that would have been a hot name.
Oh yeah, and you gotta copy his logo too and have the exact same font.
Yeah, like we could do it. We could revive that. Anything to do with the ghost aspect? Are you like a spirit? Like, do you believe in ghosts?
I love ghosts. I do believe in ghosts.
You like Jasper, the friendly ghost?
Casper. Yeah,
Casper, not Jasper.
Yeah, Jasper, the friendly ghost. My girlfriend's cat's name is Jasper. She'll love that one. But definitely, I love the spiritual shit. Like the ominous, like the dark, like death. I don't know why, but not like a point like sudden death, like the devil, like more just like the creepy, like afterlife aspects. But
any ghost stories? Any encounters? Same thing with you, Swampz. I've never had.
I don't think I have, but it's like I always look for it. I think that's the reason why. It's like I wanted, it's like
they're like, this guy, he's too eager. Yeah, we can't show ourselves.
The people that usually get him are like the people that like flip out and throw shit and like and like me, I'd be like, hey, what's your name, bro? Casper, come here, like let's hang out. Come pop a squat. Tell me some stories about your life. Like, and they don't want that. They want to scare someone. Like it's not gonna scare me. I would literally just be like, this is fucking cool. I got a ghost in my room. He just threw a lamp head at me.
They might have different intentions. We don't know. I mean, I've never. Anyway, anything? Did you have
I'm pretty sure I grew up in a haunted house growing up. It was like a very old Victorian house that was built like early 1800s or some shit like that. Sometime in the 1800s, but I don't know. My mom is convinced that it's haunted. She has ghost stories. She said she's seen. I don't know. My mom, like she's amazing, but like she said. She's seen like some couple like swinging on the tree outside and shit like that. And I always got the creeps, but I'd always like hear stuff, but I don't think I've ever like, I don't know, never had any crazy encounter. I'm always I believe in energy, but I don't know like
you haven't had
really
had
what I believe
yet.
in. Yeah, exactly.
What movie was it? I think it's Scary Movie where the person gets fucked by a ghost.
Yeah. I think it's Scary Movie 2 maybe?
Oh my god. Know. She wakes up. She's like, honey, that was amazing last night. And then she looks at like I think it was like the room camera and it's like a ghost that was like really dogging her. Oh my god.
Dude, those movies are crazy. But the energy thing is kind of interesting because it's like that like energy is neither created or destroyed. It's like what does happen to people when they die?
Yeah, exactly.
Also the old house thing. There's just tons of noises going on.
Exactly. Like I'd literally be like laying in bed and I'm like, I hear like somebody walking up the stairs and my dad's like, no, it's just the house settling, like, so I don't know. But then I used to be like really scared when I was a like kid growing up, and also used to be so scared of horror movies. I'd watch like a movie trailer and like I'd get like nightmares just from the movie trailer on the TV, and then something like switched and I became like ultra obsessed with
you
horror.
Liked it. Yeah, no,
and then like now I'm so interested in ghosts and shit like that.
I used to be so scared of shit when I was a kid, and now I like horror movies.
I'm obsessed. I love everything horror.
Do you remember that one? Like there were all these like internet pop out scary things, but there's this one, I think it's an energy drink commercial for like, I don't know, like some European country, and it's like this car going up this hill and you're following the car and the car kind of like goes out of frame.
I know what you're talking about.
And then there's just like this fucking zombie like woman that like pops out and screams, and then it's like a heartbeat and it's like the ad for the energy drink. And I swear that shit scared me so much when I was a kid. Like I like couldn't go to bed after watching that.
No, that video is iconic.
You remember that?
Nowadays, like you'll just like be scrolling through Instagram and you just see the car going up the hill, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, no, not
oh
this.
Shit. Yeah.
There's also another one where it's like this maze that you have to like go
I
through.
remember the maze.
It was like E-Bombs World shit.
Oh my god, that
scarred me
website
as
was
a child.
awesome.
Scarring, dude.
That shit scarred me as a child, for sure.
Bro, yeah, things on Newgrounds would freak me out.
Oh my god, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember 6th grade when Saddam Hussein got
the bush.
They showed him getting hung.
Oh yeah.
I watched. I was like in science class in like the computer lab, and me and my friends were like huddled watching it. And it was like when they actually showed him drop, and his eyes like it was sick.
Dude, there was. I mean, when I was younger,
Two cups, one girl.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, what is it?
Two girls, one cup.
Two girls, one cup. Yeah. Bro, there was
Best
so
video.
many. Yeah, best all time.
Goals
I watch that shit before I go to bed.
every night. That's my pre-show hype video.
Dude, there were so many of those. I remember I had one friend that would just always like we would go home and he would just like pull some shit up. I'm just like, bro, why are we
Like
watching?
3 dudes in a ladle, like two girls in a blender. Like
There
what
was
are you-
so many of that genre.
Two kids in a sandbox.
Yes.
That was the worst one.
Wait, what the? I don't even want to know.
Oh, no.
Wait,
Don't ever.
I
I don't want to
remember.
know that one.
Oh no. Now you have to know.
2 kids in a sandbox.
Yeah, wait,
Oh,
which
God.
one was that though?
Can we-
I don't even want to.
Let's just put the video on the. Let's just put the video on
I'm
the
sure.
podcast.
I'm sure YouTube will love that.
I
Like,
don't even
Oh,
want to
God.
explain it. I'm not going to.
I remember the name
I
though.
refuse to.
Anyway,
We're gonna get my reaction.
You're just gonna
for this.
have to look it up later.
yeah. Go
And then you'll
look
be
up.
scarred for life.
Yeah.
We're just gonna get my live reaction.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Yeah, with the audio. Okay. Okay, so we were talking about making music. You started producing music and whatnot. And one thing I wanted to ask you about is
That's fucked.
yeah. Did you just watch it?
It sucked. I put it up in 2 seconds. That was on Reddit.
Yeah,
Oh,
quick.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about was what you call G-step.
I wanted to hear this shit too.
So
Yeah.
I think growing up, my favorite genre to listen to was hip hop for sure. Like modern day rap, also all the old school 90s
Drill
90s
shit
rap
too, right?
Yeah, but I also love like the Chirac drill shit. I love
that shit's raw.
literally all sorts of rap, like, and so G-step is very much hip hop influence, whether it's from the 90s or even like modern day shit, like Xavier Wolf type rap,
Yeah.
Suicide Boys type rap.
Love
then,
Suicide Boys.
the 90s rap too, like Cypress Hill type shit, NWA type shit. So it's that style meshed with like bass music, dubstep, experimental bass, rhythm, I don't know, deep dub. I just want to like collab it all. That makes sense. Somehow find a way to mesh it all together.
Dude,
so-
I came across this. I gotta look it up because I think the artist name might be like Voids or some shit. But like, it's got this like West Coast like.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
those West
Yeah.
Coast synths.
Yeah, the
Yeah, like,
worm.
Yeah,
I
it's
call
hard.
it a G whistle.
G whistle.
That West Coast whistle sound.
Like Tara Reid.
Yeah, exactly. And also the like the iconography of like your name and like Getter's name, they're kind of like that, like it looks like roots are coming out of it, or like
Getter is definitely one of my biggest inspirations. I love the thing about Getter. What I also love is he'll make any type of music he wants to, and it all comes out fire. Like I remember he'll go from like that super heavy like
Visceral is so beautiful.
dubstep, and then he'll make stuff like that too.
I know he got a lot of hate.
Visceral or visceral, I don't know.
I thought it was one of
think-
the best albums. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's literally genius. It's so good. And then people were hating on him for it. I'm like, bro, why are you even stressing? Like, this is one of the best.
I think he's a
He's the
sensitive
evil
guy, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I
exactly,
get
yeah.
that's like, I feel like one of the superpowers of being an artist is being sensitive. Because if
Yeah.
you're not sensitive to stuff, you can't like,
It's like, wow, he made
down the shit.
dubstep, but he wants to, he started out making just like basic rhythm back like 10 or 15 years ago, and then as time grew, he evolved as an artist and wanted to make a project that like was more impactful, like he could let his emotions out in like a more impactful way, and he did that, and he got so much hate by all his like old rhythm fans like, wow, you sold out, you flipped. It's like, bro, he's just because he made one album that was future based doesn't mean like he's not making dubstep. You know, it's like his sets he played like he would go back from like the visceral stuff to like dubstep. You know, it's like he didn't leave. He's not putting flowers in his name. Like it's still Getter.
Yeah, no, I felt bad for him at the time when he announced that, you know, he's like, fuck this, like I don't want to do it if everyone's gonna be hating.
Yep.
Maybe he's one to just read too many of the comments, you know what I mean? That'll get you as well.
Oh yeah, you could tell he's definitely one of those guys.
I mean, I don't know exactly, but I know like people just love to hate.
Yeah.
I don't know, no matter who you are, it's like you can get 100 good comments on something, but then you see one bad comment, and as much as you try to run away from it, you're like, you can't.
You always
only
that.
Focus on that. You're like, it like
it's like
you alive.
Fire! Wow, you suck. That drop sucked.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, like what made this one motherfucker say that drop sucked? It's like, what? Then you have to DM him like, why does it suck? Please tell me.
Yeah,
they're like mixed down as trash. I'm like,
now I gotta delete the fucking song.
Yeah, you're fuck off.
Yeah,
like, yeah, I'm not at that point where I'm getting like hate, but I could imagine that that's the point when I just go, all right, I'm not reading this shit. I'm gonna have someone like go on and like look at it and like comments and
no. What I do is like if I get a bad comment, I'll be like, I'll be like, all right, you show me your music. It's like I love the worst comments. Like the most hate comments come from people that don't even make music,
I know,
or they're like the worst producer ever. So it's like, all right, you do better then. Like, all right, remake my song but do it better. Like, let me see your mix downs. Like, I'll come back. I don't know. Like, I don't care. If someone's like, all right, you suck, I'm like, thanks, that's your opinion. Like, but I got a couple other people that tell me differently. So
yeah, like I said, I just don't have any room for that, and I don't want to read it. I did find this song. It's by 99Z 90s and then Salvia Gray. I'm just gonna fucking
Yep. Oh, I know. Yep. Salvia Gray.
Whoa. So, but it's like it's got that like classic West Coast. Love that sound, but then the bass in that like is very much, you know, the classic bass, dubstep-y.
And then you have that the whistle.
I think
so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say yeah. I feel like the true like G-step, like gangster dubstep, is definitely it's like got those West Coast like old school 90s vibes, just like that mixed with dubstep music. And I've coined the name G-step because there's this dude Eradicate. Do you know Eradicate?
Yeah, he disappeared. He's from France.
Yeah, so I was making stuff similar. So I was making kind of the G-step, and I didn't know what to call it. It was just like, I don't know, I was using like old school hip hop drums mixed with bass music. And then I found Eradicate on SoundCloud, and he was calling it G-step, and I'm like, I'm making kind of the same style of music here. And sadly, he stopped making music, but his G-step was, I think, like he really created the sound and coined the name G-step, and then I just kept rolling with it. So
and now I don't hear any other people that do it.
Yeah. So
this is
he needs to come back. Shout out Eradicate.
Yeah, come back.
Shout out. So it's interesting because it feels like I was talking to Ashton before this, and I was like, what's like new? What's like gonna happen? We're like, we don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But it does feel like either I'm not tapped in or it is really new. The G-step vibe is like, I don't hear, like, yeah, Getter, I've heard some stuff similar. This one track that I found is that, you know, maybe it's not exactly what you're making, but it feels new and exciting. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, is there intentionality behind like pushing that sound, or just what you fuck with?
Definitely. And like, I wouldn't say all my music's G-step. I also love making like deeper stuff, and then also like I love making like rhythm, like old school style rhythm, but it all kind of has that similar like G vibes with it. But yeah, definitely G-step is one of the sounds that I want to push, and I think definitely has a big future, and I think more artists are starting to catch on to it. But I think the next like couple years you're gonna start hearing a lot more G-steppy type.
I feel like you're gonna hear
music.
You know how like Suicide Boys kind of went onto that funk train a little bit, and also you could say that some of the producers for, you know, them and other guys like it were the people that kind of created that genre as well. I mean, like, anyway, I'm not like a fucking historian on this shit, but I could totally see them rocking with some of these beats, which are a little bit more heavy on the sound design, but also just like fire rapping. Because like that song that I played, that's like kind of that Bone Thugsy like like triplet feel, and I think that works perfectly over it. So that would be really cool to see. Like, imagine fucking collabing with like Suicide Boys or some shit.
Oh, exactly. That's the goal.
That would be sick.
That'd be nuts.
Yep.
And they have that similar aesthetic. I kind of want to go back to that aesthetic of like this like witchcraft, like branches out, like metal look. Like, what is that? How does that come from? How did you come to that for your logo?
Definitely. I don't know. I love death metal music, and I love just like the whole branding of death metal, and I love like scary shit too. But I think it also, the aesthetic of it mixed with also like hip hop vibes can create a super cool aesthetic. So with my music, I love darkness, but I also love like the hip hop vibes. So I want it to be like horror, rap, like dubstep, all of it together.
Just like raunchy.
So, yeah, exactly. But yeah, it definitely comes from me being just a metal fan, and like those logos that you can't even read, but you're just like, this looks cool as fuck. So that's kind of what it is. It's not about like people being able to read it. It's just more about the look, and I have a couple logos, one that's more legible, but also that one too. So it's just depending on what I'm going for. If I'm like playing a show, maybe put up more of the legible logo, or do both logos. But yeah, my manager's like, you need to rep the legible logo more so people can know like who you are. And I'm like, I agree, but also I love like how it looks. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be good for like merch, because it's like, you know, you see it and you're like, what is that? Like someone would be like, what is that? And it's like, oh bro, it's Swampz.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's my thinking, you know.
Yeah, but I do get it, like in the sense of like growing the brand, and so people know. And yeah, I mean, that makes sense too. Maybe there's a middle ground. Or the more legible logo is the middle ground. But yeah, that is I kind of wanted to talk to you both about like early inspirations. We talked about like your first concert, and obviously Blink, Papa Roach, great. But like, who are some people that early on inspired you?
I would say so like my biggest inspirations right now are like Peekaboo, Zeds Dead, Skrillex, Barclay Crenshaw, any type of that, like Flow Don. I've been really big right within the last like month. Alex Perez, like Visages, Monty. So I'm starting to notice a switch in my music and my sound. I'm kind of gearing more towards, the label 1985, like Alex Perez, that like halftime 140, like really just gritty, like grimy stuff from like UK inspiration. Gearing more towards that lane, being like working with like more UK artists, trying to get more into that, like not fully deep 140, but like also have like some hip hop influence, but like grime, like I don't know. I'm just trying to get more into like that side of the sound spectrum.
For sure.
Yeah, I'd say one of my biggest inspirations was like old school Excision. I remember like he had like these like his OG stuff. It's very much like it's got those like old school dubstep growls, but it's almost got like those old like UK dubstep drums with it. Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of like, it's not like the like like it's more like got like some like hip hop vibe to
swing
it.
Swing to
like,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a swing.
And it's like, I don't even know. But it's got like those like old school growls, and it's very just like gritty.
Like they sound like they're coming from Massive type of deal.
But yeah, like OG Excision was one of my biggest inspirations. Also like Liquid Stranger, also Getter, a lot of those like OG UK dubstep artists, Casbah.
Yeah,
definitely one of the biggest inspirations for sure. And then obviously like hip hop artists like Suicide Boys, Cypress Hill. So
yeah. covered some of that.
Someone's gonna listen to the podcast and sample the drums he was just making with his mouth.
Yeah, someone sampled that. Nice. I wanted to talk to you about collaborations. That's what it was. How are you guys feeling about collaborating? Like, what's kind of a process for that? Like, I know sometimes artists will get into this thing where they're like, I don't want to do any collabs right now. Just whatever. I'm going to do my own shit. But like, how are you guys feeling at the moment about collabs, and then kind of how do you normally go about them?
So last year I worked on like pretty much mainly collab, because like I pretty much said yes to everyone that asked me to collab, and I kind of got myself kind of fucked. I just had like I only released like 3 solo songs last year from like Ghost Lotus, like just me, and then like 11 like 10 collabs, you know? So this year, like, I'm still finishing up some collabs, but my main focus is just this year I want to put out like mainly Ghost Lotus songs. So I'm like not saying like I'm done, like I'm just like over that shit, because I just feel like I got myself into way too deep with it last year. But it's a great way to find new people and get new crowd. It's a good way to learn. It's a good way to, you know, find other sounds and techniques. So it definitely has its like pluses for sure. That's why, you know, I was really doing it last year, but now I'm starting to like focus more on like my sound and my style and try to push out my own unique, you know. This year I'm dropping a couple EPs, got some big like solo releases on some dope labels, so like I'm trying to push that shit, and then I'll start cycling in like the collabs again, you know.
Yeah. I feel like it's a good way to just connect, make friends, whatever, you know. What you?
For me, I apologize to all the artists who are waiting on me to finish our collabs. I'm working on like 10 at once. Like you said, I'm trying to do too many at once, but for me, it's just kind of like, it doesn't matter who you are. You could have 20 followers, you could have 20,000. Like, if I fuck with your music and like I think we can make something dope together, like I'd love to collab, you know. And I think it just comes down to I don't know, like I said, if I like your music, but yeah, I don't really have any set like rules or anything when it comes to collabs, but I need to definitely hop on all the collabs that people are waiting
yeah,
on,
it sucks because you say like it all happens all at once, and then all of a sudden it's like and then it's like, hey, have you worked on the collab? It's like, I'll get to it. Then you try to work on that one, then someone else is like, hey, can you send me that collab? I'm like, oh,
that feels
my god,
stressful.
yeah. And then like you just like get in a headspace, and like I just like get too flustered and I can't make music at all. I'm like, I can't make shit now. Like I don't know what to work on. Like I can't start a new chunk because I have like 100 my own whips. Then I have like 20 collabs I have to work on. Then it's like, I don't want to make music. I'm just gonna go lay down.
That's how it goes. I feel like everyone kind of struggles with that, especially with the collabs. Are these mostly over the internet or
over the internet?
Person?
Yeah. I've never made a collab in person with someone.
It's kind of hard. It's fun to sit down with a homie in the studio and try to like work on something, but I feel like to really get in your zone, it's best for me at least to just be alone.
That's
and then I can really just like, I can just like grind it out and I can get in my zone. Like I can vibe out. When you're like sitting with someone, you almost like overthink things and you're afraid to like experiment and try some crazy weird shit. So I think
they might be like, well, where's this going? You're like, shit, I don't
you guys are both just sitting there like, what do we do now, you know, like but
I feel like good collabs in person are that you have different like skill sets. Like maybe this guy's really good at guitar and you can kind of like be the engineer, or like that's how I've felt like the best collabs go for myself at least. But I mean it's kind of nice that like someone sends you something, you're like, okay, now I got something to fucking work on, you know. But
mostly over like Instagram or SoundCloud, you know. You just send someone a 16-bar loop, or they send you some shit and you're like, oh yeah, let me hop on this.
Or you post like the whips, like how artists will post like, here's like 5 whips, and then someone's like, yo, let me get on this, and then it's like, okay,
exactly,
I'll send it.
And it's also sometimes nice to collab too, because you're like, I don't really know where to go with this idea or like how to finish it, and then you can send it over to somebody else and they can like finish up the idea or like make it better, add their flavor to it, and then it's almost like you have 2 artists who are able to market it, and the song could be much bigger than it would have ever been just solo release. So
yeah, for sure. No, I feel like that Makes total sense. Someone, if they can give new life to something that you're just like, oh, hell yeah. Like, good job taking this to the finish line.
Yep.
Yeah. Word. Well, you know, in the effort to make this not be the forever podcast, I'm going to start kind of like wrapping up a little bit. You know, one thing I just wanted to ask you, Swampz, real quick was there's a lot of like imagery on your social media of like these like cars that are just fucking like, I don't even know what the proper term is, but they're just swagged out, like people riding low or riding high, got like hydraulics and shit, like
I love
drifting and stuff.
I love cars and I love the car scene. Like I love like low riders, but I also love like the JDM scene, like drift cars. But yeah, I just love everything about cars. I'm saving up to pimp out a drift whip. You know, I just got.
What are you going for? Like,
I mean, my dream car is definitely like Nissan S13, but that's a little more expensive. But
Supra.
Just like when it comes to a drift car, you just need something manual. You need something rear wheel. You can just like drift it. As long as you just know what you're doing. I don't necessarily know what I'm doing, but I definitely have friends who do. But yeah, I don't have any like pimped out whips myself, but I love pulling up to the car shows, and I've always been a big fan of it, and so I definitely use it as part of my branding.
Yeah,
definitely. So
kind of like Joyride kind of does. Like his is more on that like speed car type of deal, not as much like drift. Well, it's some drifting, I guess. But yeah, I was curious. Is there much of a scene for that in Denver?
It's decent. It's nothing like a bigger city like Chicago where we're at, or
I'm not tapped in either. So I guess it's probably about being like in the know.
But, oh yeah, exactly. But yeah, you can join the scene in Denver is still cool. You can join Facebook groups and just like pull up to these car shows, and I don't know.
And it's not like legal. That's like you know, people are like drifting and like going fast in cars. It's like not. It's not like you're at the track and you can do that.
Yeah, it's like in LA you see these like a lot of people hate on them, but I guess they're definitely very dangerous and shit, but they're pretty badass at the same time. But they do the street takeovers where they all like swarm the streets. Then you have people like drifting.
I always see people get hit by those.
Yeah, and then people get hit. But
shit.
I've never seen anything like that in Denver. Maybe there has been some shit like that, but that happens in bigger cities.
I want to go to one of those. I always see that.
No, exactly.
And they're on the outside filming, and the cars are getting like mad close. No one's moving.
Getting hit, people getting shot and shit.
Oh my god, yeah, that was wild though. I could totally hear your music getting blasted at one of those though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, you should.
I love the chaos.
Fire. If he ever like hosted his own show, DJing as they're drifting, like that would be nuts.
Yeah, you'd have to have like a getaway vehicle.
Oh yeah.
But it is cool. Yeah, it's definitely anything like cool is generally a little dangerous. There's some inherent danger. Yep. I mean, like, you know, so. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to like check in about that because that's definitely imagery on the page, and I mean, I fuck with cars. I have a shitty car. I have a Corolla. It's my little go-kart for the city. I have aspirations of having a nice car someday. But
I got my car that gets me from point A to
point B.
Same. I just fucked up my car the other day. I have a Lexus CT200H. It's like a little, it's like a little coupe, and I was throwing something in the dumpster, and so I pull up next to like the dumpster like this, and there was a big like cement like step, and my car's really low, so I was like this to cement things here, and I went like this, and like I didn't see the step thing, and it took my whole fucking bumper off.
Oof.
I was like, you piece of shit.
Damn.
I was so pissed. And
Did you never keep the bumper, like put it in the car? Like,
well, and I looked it up too, and like it's like $1,500 to replace a damn bumper. I'm like, god damn.
Yeah, I'd like to learn about just like more about how the car works. I mean, like one day we're not even going to drive cars. You know what I mean? You're just going to be like, what do you mean you own a car?
Why?
This one just drives me
Wait, so you, instead of like, you know, it's like you walk to work, and back then it's going to be like, wait, you drive to work?
Yeah. I mean, it's like that scene in iRobot. It's like, this uses gasoline. Like, that's dangerous. It's like, yeah, but it's cool. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to learn more about it for sure. And also I wanted to ask, are the roads in Denver well paved? Because in Chicago they suck.
Nashville, they suck too. I popped like 6 tires in a year, no cap. Denver's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denver's not bad. Their roads are solid. I mean, every once in a while you'll encounter some potholes, but I feel like they definitely do a good job at keeping the roads.
Shout out Denver for keeping those roads nice.
Exactly.
We appreciate that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like like I feel like here there's a lot more roads you gotta cover. So,
that's true. Also, there's just probably some like. I feel like everything in Chicago is like, yeah, that's like a money laundering thing. Like,
exactly.
Anyway, sorry. Just speaking the truth here. Like, yeah.
True.
All right, guys. Well, let's do the wrap-up question. I asked about your first concert, but what was the concert that you went to that was like game-changing, like this set the bar, most impactful, like you were just like, damn.
Well, yeah, for me, it was definitely like going to that global dub festival. It was like my first like real like dubstep rave type show, and I remember like I had listened to Excision from the time I was like in middle school, but this was probably when I was like 15 or 16 years old, and like he had like these crazy like visuals, like robots like stomping and shit, and I was just like mind blown. I was just like that, and then everyone was just like headbanging and having fun. That got me hooked for sure.
Dude, and the new Excision stuff looks crazy. Like he's just been like just ranking up.
He's a Jesus. He's a genius too. He really knows how to turn his thing into a business. Like that, all those meme visuals with the Shrek thing that are going viral. Yeah, like that's literally like that's genius marketing.
Well, because like, Kanye was even like, "Who's doing the visuals here?"
Yeah, like literally, like that's, and it's like that's just wild shit. Yeah. I would say mine would be Wakan or Soundhaven.
Gotcha.
Hell yeah, definitely. Oh, but also I was gonna say so that was like first show, but then first festival was, I'm trying to think. I think it was actually like Lost Lands 2019 or some shit.
Yeah, and I learned that's Excision again. Like,
yeah.
So that's sick. Yeah, Lost Lands, they got the branding on. He's got the branding.
The dinosaurs.
It's like, whether it's like Optimus Prime looking as dinosaurs,
a robot kitty.
Like lasers, just fucking everything cool. Like,
But yeah, my type of festival, it's now I feel like it's definitely more like Wakan style or like infrasound, some shit like that. Those are the vibes that I really love. No, for sure.
I want to go to infrasound so bad. Yeah. The line, they always release the line. That's how like so I got like inside source that told me some of the lineup this year, and it's like the craziest freaking crap. And they don't announce it until like the week before the festival, and it's like always like every time I see pictures or videos, like I've never seen energy like that from these 140 dubsteps. Just like it's like almost like you're in the UK with that, like in like a boiler room. The way that the crowd's jumping and moving, it's like it's rare to find that in the United States nowadays, because like we were talking about earlier, ketamine, just like there's not really energy on the dance floor. Everyone's kind of like bopping, but like people are like jumping up and down, like getting grimy with it, and it's like that's what I'm here for. That's what I want, like that type of energy.
Where is infrasound?
Minnesota.
Okay. And they don't release the lineup.
They release it like a week before.
Whoa!
And no one cares because they always know, like if you're going infrasound, you're gonna have a fire lineup no matter what, top to bottom. So, and it always sells out.
Fuck. They figured it out, I guess. Yeah. Do they book a lot of UK people?
Oh yeah. So this year it's like they're doing. Like,
yeah, you don't have to say anything.
Yeah, it's like a lot of UK artists. Like I've noticed that the festival lineups these days are like getting taken over by UK artists, whether it's like the 140 scene, the like speed house scene, garage, or drum and bass. Like they're UK's just coming and taking over the country nowadays.
That's interesting, because we were talking. I was talking to someone about how Shambhala, it's like a lot of US artists, but Shambhala's in the in Canada too. So, but it's like, just I don't know. I guess U.S. artists in Canada, UK artists in the U.S. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, the UK is definitely having a fucking moment. It's like always having a moment. It's like just there's like this juggling between the U.S., the UK.
But these Canadians though are making some of like the best 140 I've heard recently. Like,
really,
dude, have you heard of Torcha?
Mm-mm.
Do you look him up? This dude is making like, he has like it's like he does like proper 140, like deep 140. He'll remix like these rhythm songs into like a rhythm type of like drum flow with like just like a deep dub sounds that have like some, or he'll do like a deep dub beat with like rhythm sound. It's like super cool, and his font is like kind of like the heavy metal, death metal kind of torture thing too. It's sick. He's gangster. I saw him at Soundhaven last year for his US debut, and right the Element 5s, it was just proper as fuck.
I always like coming away from these with like some homework to go look up some artists. So Torcha, gotcha.
Torcha,
it's a cool name too. All right, guys. Well, I just want to let you, if there's any shout outs to people that like have been, you know, just helpful in your career, just people you want to thank. I just like always like to give you the opportunity.
I was going to say shout out AOWL Owl. He's one of my biggest inspirations. He needs to make a comeback, but I love like some, I don't know. Shout out Owl. He's fresh as fuck.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Swampz.
Yeah.
And shout out the Poducer.
Thank you, bro.
And shout out the mushroom drain thing. Again, this isn't a paid ad.
Yeah, we were talking about this before because we have long hair. You got to get this little mushroom drain thing for your shower. Yeah, it catches your hair. Hey, anyway, sponsor us. Let's go.
Shout out Adonis. He's my manager. Shout out AJ, my agent. I love both of you guys. Thank you guys for helping put me on.
Hell yeah.
We'll
Adonis
be back,
is
Chicago.
a sick name, by the way.
Yeah, he's a G.
Yep.
Is he Greek?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
It's just, I was just curious. Okay, yeah.
Dope.
Where can people find you guys on like social media?
TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter.
Follow me on IG, Swampz Music, Swampz with a Z, and pretty much all of my socials Swampz Music, except Twitter is Swampz Official. Yep. Or should I say X?
You're right. Yeah.
X.com.
X, yeah. You can also find me on Pornhub. Just type in Ghost Lotus.
There probably is like
I'm bookmarking those vids right now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Deep fakes of you.
Yeah, right. That'd be funny. It's just like videos of you just like DJing. The visuals are just porn.
Yeah. No, I love when people do that, but the other way around, it's like you porn star doing something, but then like on the decks.
Oh God. Something. Okay. Yeah. Now we're talking. We're getting some new content coming soon.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll put links in the description, but just wanted to thank you guys so much for coming through.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. This is why. My first interview ever.
Yeah, me too.
Hell yeah, let's get it. Yeah.
Hey.
Popping the cherries.
Yeah.
Hey.
Want to book me for your next interview? Let's do it.
We can do it again, man. Yeah, we'll do it in a year's time, and we'll talk about the new adventures.
The follow-up.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, we really appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Later.